What's up, Chris?
Happy Work Friday, Jay.
It is Work
Um,
Friday.
Work Friday.
Although, work real Friday would be Black Friday, and
That's
we are
right.
not working. But
No,
the deals have already started.
yeah.
My kid went to Target earlier and says she saved $8 on a $20 item, which means it's time to
Nice.
start shopping.
All right. It's time to start shopping. So
Yes.
if you don't have your sales live, you're behind.
Yeah,
Welcome,
that is
welcome,
the
welcome,
truth.
everyone. Welcome, everyone, to On the Rocks, the e-commerce hour, where we talk about e-commerce and e-commerce adjacent information, specifically related to technology and tips to run your e-commerce business. I am Chris Kino. He is Jay Kimmelman, and we are your hosts for the show. Last
Glad
week,
to be here
we walked.
today.
Yeah, excited to be here today instead of Friday, so that we can enjoy all the shopping experiences that we have when Friday gets here. Last week, we talked through my personal experience using Super Trellis, and I got it. I got my stuff on yesterday, finally. So, quick update
I,
for everyone.
I got a story
I
for you about that too, that same thing, but
Yeah,
afterwards. You go on.
we'll talk about
Yeah.
my update from Super Trellis later. But last week we talked about things I liked about the experience and things I didn't like, and we added some perspective on where e-commerce owners and should consider, like, hey, here's a thing to think about, or here's a neat thing that this company was doing. This week, with Thanksgiving just one day away, tomorrow, we're going to talk about things we're thankful for, as well as highlight some things that we think you should be thankful for as well, or that you'll want to like take a minute to appreciate, if nothing else. But first, let's get to the news. Now, since we last talked, it was Friday, and it's only Wednesday today, so the news is relatively limited. That being said, let's get to it. In tech news, specifically in AI stuff, there's another survey. Surveys seem to come out all the time. This one is from Capterra. And Capterra survey research indicates that 59%, and Jay, I couldn't believe this, but kind of seems maybe possible, 59% of businesses regret some software purchase they've made in the last 18 months. And so, Jay, I have a question for you. Does High Rock regret a software purchase we've had in the last 18 months?
That's a great question. Uh, no, I regret a purchase we made before I came aboard,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, which was
and
not that. I mean, which we would have regretted within 18 months for sure.
yes, I regretted it a month into my tenure with High Rock,
Right.
but
So I don't
that's
think this
another
is all that
story.
surprising.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
a different matter, but it
I mean,
pervasive.
personally, I have. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there's been some apps that I've bought that's like, hmm,
yeah,
I want my money back.
yeah.
Yeah,
I hear that. I think in this case, the way that they described it of mistakes, right, or things you regret, was a little more substantial than just like an app that you bought. But
yeah,
even still, 59% of businesses regretting a software purchase is a good amount. Um,
that is.
and 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 despite that, Jay, this made me think like maybe this information's got a little bit of like uncertainty to it or something. Despite that, 75% of companies are planning to increase their software spend. So despite 60% of people having some kind of regret recently, people are still spending the money, and so 75% are spending that money on AI. Ha, who could have imagined? And IT systems.
I
So if you're
really don't think this AI thing's gonna work out. I
Yeah,
really
man.
don't.
I heard it was plateauing or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. For those of you who don't understand why that's funny to Jay, we talked about that yesterday in the practice playbook. So
Yeah,
go listen to that joke. Go find it in the practice playbook from yesterday.
for sure.
Now, part of the reason why regret was happening, at least according to Capterra, was that there were unclear goals. So that caused regret. Like people bought the software without really understanding what it was intended to do, or what it was used for, or who was going to be using it. Um, when you roll out new software, it's really important to evaluate timelines, and understand like when to expect things to happen, because oftentimes I think people buy a software that they expect to be operational day one, and then you need to onboard it, and that becomes frustrating, and especially if that becomes something where um, like you have to spend a little bit more to get the thing the way you wanted it. Of course, that makes it look more regrettable. So be aware of that.
Yeah, a
But
lot of that comes down to setting expectations during the purchase cycle.
right,
I mean, It's
Yeah.
no different than what we talk about with our clients. We are going to bring you on. We are going to break some things, and then we are going to make it better.
Right.
And a lot of times, they don't hear that we're going to break things. And when you're
Yeah.
bringing on
Just like
new
make it better.
software, you have to break things because you have processes that you're currently using. And that's why having a really good, strong onboarding program is important to software, just like it
Yep.
is to us in the accounting industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No question about it. One thing that was a positive that helped people in their experiences with software was prior experience. So having used the software before, that does not shock me. That if you had a good experience with the software, if you that makes you want to use it again. And then I was a little bit surprised by this one, Jade. The article that I read from Capterra, or that included the summary information here, also said that the reviews are really helpful in turning a situation from a negative to a positive, or just making that experience better.
Sure.
Um, that we talked about that last week or on Friday when we talked about Super Trellis, because right there on their page, their reviews are like, "Hey, this takes a lot of time, but once you get it done, it's going to be really good," right? And so if reviews are saying those same things about a software or technology, um, that seems pretty relevant, right? And will be really powerful. Um,
Just for the record, I'm trying to look behind you and see if your
oh, it's
Super
over
Trellis
there.
is.
It's over there. It's right on the edge, and it's not
Oh,
in the
it's off the
screen.
screen.
Yeah, it's off the screen.
Gotcha. I was
But
trying to be nosy and look.
once I get it in, it'll start. I think once I get it in, it'll be like right here and kind of go that nope, that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But
So,
we'll see.
so yeah. Actually, I got a sneak peek. It looked really good. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's a really cool product.
Yeah.
But just like a lot of softwares can be as well. But it does mean like, hey, if there's an implementation issue or one that you should expect, like it's good to know about that. So read those reviews; they can be really helpful in guiding you to make a good decision. At least that's what Capterra survey research says. Um, and Jay, because it's the week of Thanksgiving, I guess that's the tech news. One article
Yeah.
only. One article only through the feed that I use. In e-commerce related news, there was a lot more news. So a lot of things are happening in the e-commerce space more broadly. That's probably not surprising, since Jay, I'd never heard it called this before, but we're heading into the Cyber Five. Um,
Cyber
yeah,
5.
yeah. Apparently, like
Friday.
this little, yeah. I think it's like Thursday to Monday. I guess the one that's like
Okay.
5 days of like
Okay.
cyber excitement, something like that.
Well, yeah. I've
Yeah,
always heard it,
but
BFCM,
the
but
right,
yeah,
yeah.
never Cyber 5. That's
The number of articles that I read that referenced Cyber Five was really stunning to me, because I also had not heard that term. So maybe we're just adopting that for this year or something. Somebody was like,
well.
"You know, we should call it Cyber Five."
Now that I know that, it's probably viral. I'm going to go drop it on TikTok tomorrow and see what we
Yep.
come up with.
Hashtag Cyber Five. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy the Cyber Five together, everyone.
Yes.
In some non Cyber 5 related news, um, we did talk about this also on the practice playbook yesterday, but President elect Trump has indicated that China is not the only one going to be targeted by tariffs. We're also going to slap was it 25% tariff on Mexico and Canadian goods?
25%.
25%, which again, if you want our like real thoughts on that, you can go listen to the practice playbook from yesterday.
Well, I have some new thoughts on that because
Ooh,
I heard feedback from the Canadian Assistant Prime Minister and
mm,
the Mexican President this morning.
oh
And
boy,
were you
yes,
aware that 60% of all oil imports come through Canada?
nope, yikes.
70% of the lumber that is imported comes through Canada.
That doesn't surprise me, but I was not aware of that. Yeah, yeah, double yikes.
90% of all avocados that are
Oh
imported
yeah,
come from
come from
Mexico, and
that doesn't surprise me at all.
75% of all tomatoes
Yep, that
come
feels
from
right to me
Mexico.
too. Like
So
dates,
they
grapes.
they both said, if you want to do this, we're coming at you. So yeah, they're not lying down, and they're not playing the propaganda game. They're gonna fight back. So
Yeah.
well, I want to see what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that means the promises to get groceries cheaper not going to
Yeah.
happen.
Not with that activity. No,
Fuel
sir.
cost is going to go up, so it's going to be fun for a while. So
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
going
And
to
so,
hopefully popcorn is not imported because I want to get some popcorn, sit back and watch this fight.
well, so here's the good news. Those tariffs won't go into effect until January 20th, 2024 or 2025. So you have time to buy your popcorn before the tariffs hit.
Yeah.
Because there's
But I
nothing that
don't
can
want to
be.
watch that on January 20th because on January
Mm.
20th, that's my birthday.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I don't want to celebrate my birthday and watch tariffs being
Tariffs, yeah.
enacted.
Yeesh. Well, we'll see what
Yeah,
it may be later than that anyway. Who
yeah.
knows? Um, for e-commerce business owners out there, obviously, if you're importing things from Canada or Mexico, which is significantly likely, like if you're importing things, like be aware of this and watch the story. We talked a little bit yesterday on the practice playbook about how this is potentially posturing to like have some things happen. Obviously, it's 2 months before this can actually even go into effect, and so it may be that they're looking to stimulate some other kind of activity where we back down in exchange for something. But it sounds like Canada and Mexico are maybe not going to play ball on that. So we will see what happens. That this seems like something that would be like a pretty significantly bad decision from a policy perspective, and would obviously impact e-commerce entities, especially those that are importing locally or in the Americas, pretty significantly. So keep
Well,
an eye on it.
especially for those. I mean, I would assume that not a lot of products that are being sold by e-commerce sellers are coming through Canada and Mexico. I would assume a lot are coming through China,
Yeah, yeah, sure.
but because of the fuel cost,
Right.
we shall see shipping rates go up and landing costs of the products going up,
Yeah.
and that thus increasing the price of the products. Because if you want to have a 50% margin, that 50% margin isn't just on the $20 that it costs you to bring
Nope.
in the product. It's on the additional 15% that it costs you to bring it in. So
Yep.
that markup is going to be, not going to be $30, it's going to be $35.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah.
So all that to say, let's keep a really really keen eye on what actually happens here as a policy, and as much as you can plan accordingly. Um, uh, More positively, our friends at speaking of shipping costs, our friends at USPS say they're primed and ready for the holiday season. They are ready to go. They've invested in some extra folks to make their processes continue. They've also invested in some extra technology, not like the AI types, but more like more printers and that kind of thing. More of your older school tech. But those types of things are they have made them say, "Hey, we're ready to go." So they also in this communication they also highlighted, "Hey, we're a little bit cheaper than our competitors too." So if you're making last minute shipping decisions, be aware that USPS says they're ready to go. Obviously, as we roll into Cyber 5, I want to remind everyone again, and I read 2 articles about this. Keep cybersecurity front of mind. When people are communicating all of their payment data and all of that information, like cybersecurity becomes really really important. And I wrote in here take web stores. But that's actually supposed to be fake web stores. So fake web stores are evolving to target customers. So people may impersonate you, especially if you have a really high demand product. So just know that those types of things are out there, and that's why it continues to be so important to keep cybersecurity front of mind. And Jay, I don't know about
We
you.
talked about that some time ago
Yeah,
because my wife got an ad for Macy's, and when she went to the website, it was a fake shop.
yeah.
Luckily, she
May
didn't put a credit card
Macy's with
in
the
or
E.
anything.
Yeah.
No, it was Macy's as it was supposed to be. But if you look at the
Wow.
URL, it was eMacy's
Yeah.
something.com.
Sure.
So
Yeah. Right.
they had a
Wow.
full-on shop, but it was meant to steal your credit cards. So
Yeah. Yeah. So of course you be aware of that. Like keep tabs on your own shop, and watch your volume and that kind of thing, because you don't want people to be retargeted or
Yep,
targeted that way.
for
Also, be
sure.
aware too that there just are lots of like shipping related scams that are out there. I know I've gotten 2 alerts today about UPS shipping me something that is definitely not true, and so like be aware that people are going to get all of that stuff too, right? It's
I
that
got one
time.
that a package is stuck in customs due to a wrong zip code, and the
Yeah,
number's a
sure.
foreign number. It's not from customs. So
Yeah,
yeah, you got
right.
to
And so,
just think it through. If you're getting a link and it doesn't look quite right,
yeah.
try. If you're on your computer, at least hover over it and look at the underlying link. A lot of times, it's not going to take you to Macy's.com. It's going to take you to a bunch of numbers and all kinds of gobbledygook. So just pay
Well,
attention. It's really important.
right. Yeah. Don't just click through those things. Be aware of that for both your company and also for your customers. Um, in the like search optimization space, Bing, and I can't believe that they did this kind of right before this weekend. This seems kind of crazy, but they've published new optimization guidelines. So if you're using Bing as a promotion tool for your products, make sure you're continuing to focus on keywords. Make sure also that you're ensuring that you supplement those keywords too. Like you don't want to just you want to make sure that you've got the whole basket kind of covered, because that will help you in your optimization. And then you also want to make sure that you're communicating micro intent. So exactly what you want those things to work on and how you want them to work. Make sure you're including all of that information, and that will help you to utilize Bing a little bit more effectively. One thing, if you're using an outsourced agency, make sure that they know that these things have changed. If they haven't talked to you about this already, it's worth refreshing them related to it and making sure that you understand your Bing strategy going into the new year. Right at this point, it's probably not all that effective today and tomorrow, but going into the new year, be aware that there's some changes happening there.
You know what? I would
Um,
love to know of our e-com shop owners that are watching, what percentage of your ad spend is with Bing?
yeah,
Just curious.
yeah, I'd be interested in seeing that too. So
Yeah,
drop those notes in the comments. Tell us. I use X% on Bing, Meta, Google. I'd love to see kind of how all that shakes
yeah.
out. I know
Let me see the distribution of your ad spend for
I would.
sure.
I'd love to see that. I'm curious where people are finding success, and that really good ROAS. Um, in in over at PayPal, they have updated their resolution center, or at least they are finishing the update. It's supposed to roll out in January of 2025. It's supposed to be new and easier, nice and simplified, with nice simplified tabs and updated to add other features. The article that I had really just kind of talked about this at the high level, but know that that's coming. That if you're using PayPal, that if you have those resolution issues or people are returning things, all that kind of stuff, you're going to have a little bit more clarity, hopefully, into how that's working for you, and you can be able to see that a little easier. Um, Also, over at Amazon, they always make the news. This one is like a really light level one, but they did add some perks to buy with Prime for the weekend here. So they have some exclusive promotions. They can allow you to shop with points, some things like that. So if you do use buy with Prime, know that you have a couple things you can take advantage of there. Um, and then and then I think this is really important, especially if you do utilize a TikTok shop. TikTok over this past week has extended their return windows for this holiday period. Their return window used to be 30 days. Now they've extended it out to 10 weeks, which is whatever, like was that like 75 days, 80 days, something like that. So that's a pretty big change. Whatever, like a more than 50%, more than 100% increase, 150% or something like that. So, so know that if you're again if you're promoting on TikTok and you're seeing traction and success there, know that your customers will now have a longer return window. So be aware of that, especially right now, and especially if you're just getting started in that space. Maybe just wait a couple weeks, but know that return window is a little longer.
So you brought up your purchase on Super Trellis,
Yeah.
and I clicked through the website
Oh
last
yeah.
week,
Uh-huh.
and
Yep.
I have been inundated with ads.
Yeah.
Every time I am on Facebook or Instagram,
every time.
I'm seeing them in the reels, and I'm seeing them in the stories. They're all over the place. But that's good. I mean, I can ignore it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But like you, I made an online purchase last week,
Oh
and
no.
I purchased something off the TikTok shop
Yes.
on Friday afternoon.
Okay.
And Saturday, I got my it's shipping email, and it
Uh-huh.
didn't tell me when it was coming, and it wasn't picked up yet. But damn it, it arrived on Monday.
Wow. That's
That's
amazing.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
you had a
cool.
better experience than me for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so, um, so for those of you who didn't watch last week, I bought some stuff off Super Trellis and we talked about it. Quick update to that story. It was supposed to arrive on Sunday. I got a notice I don't know, like an hour and a half after the show, that my shipping was delayed. And so I actually didn't get my Super Trellis until yesterday. But yeah, it's over. Yeah, the other way. Um, no, the
Yes,
other
the
way.
other way. Yeah,
The other,
I can't
the
get to it.
other, other way. Oh, is it not over there? Oh, maybe I moved the camera.
Yeah.
Here, we can just do this. There it
Yeah,
is.
there you go.
There it is in the corner over there. You can kind of just barely see it, but it's over there. Um, and and that's and so I've kind of like started. Like I said last week, I was really excited for it, and that's part of the reason that some of the struggles that we ran through were a little bit disappointing. Um, but it's here now, and I have started to put it up, and I'm super stoked for for watching the plants grow onto it, getting the plants to the light, and avoiding some of the issues that I've had of non-leafing and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, it
Super
looks
Trellis,
good.
great product for me, not a great product for Jay, so not the best use of their ad spend. They are also inundating my feeds, so I also am seeing Super Trellis ads everywhere. Um, and and like I mentioned last time, I got a little like discount code after the fact. So and Black Friday started on Friday, so I was excited to see that the product that I bought wasn't any less expensive. So the product that I bought stayed the same price, but a variety of other products were discounted a little bit further. And so I'll probably buy some complimentary stuff because they also the ones that I've put on the wall over there are wall trellises, but I will also be using a regular trellis going forward. I know it's Wednesday, Jay, and the day before Thanksgiving, but because it's Work Friday, I went ahead and poured myself a Notorious Oat. Um,
There you go.
Notorious Oat there. It's an oatmeal stout from Four Corners out of DFW. Four Corners used to be kind of right around the corner from where I used to live. Oatmeal stouts are you can have one, and that's probably sufficient because they're very heavy. But when I finished that one, I went ahead and also got this is Oak Cliffs um, Oktoberfest, which was my favorite one of the season. So we'll be excited to have that. I found a couple more at the grocery when I went earlier this week to do my Thanksgiving shopping. So I'll be having that. Jay, I know you've got family in. So is the bourbon in the wings, or is it in the cup already?
The bourbon is got to wait.
Oh
As soon as
no.
we are done, I am heading out. My
Mm.
brother hit me up yesterday. He had an extra ticket to see the Orlando Magic tonight. So I'm
Ooh.
joining my brother and my nephew, my 12-year-old nephew, and my
Fun.
26-year-old nephew, who's in
All
from
right.
Nashville.
Wonderful.
So
Well, what a
yeah,
good
gonna
time.
have a little bit of fun tonight, and then
Yeah.
come back home
Who
and
Magic
let
play
the.
tonight?
I have no idea.
Great.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm
A
just
basketball
going to
team.
experience the game.
That's right. They play a basketball team.
Yeah,
Um, that's what's
it
important.
could be the
And then
Harlem
you're coming
Wizards,
back
as
home.
far as I know.
It might be.
It could be.
It might be. And then when you get back home, then it's suburban time or bourbon
Then
tomorrow.
yes, most definitely, and
All right, there you
definitely
go.
tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
There might be a bourbon pecan pie or bourbon
Ooh,
pumpkin pie in our future.
yeah, maybe both.
So yeah,
Yeah, we'll
very
we'll
good.
find out.
Yeah,
We'll hear some stories about that next week.
yeah.
All right, now on to our conversation. Obviously, we've already started talking a little bit about Thanksgiving. With as busy as life can be, right? It is very easy to forget to take a few minutes to appreciate things around you and to say thanks. Obviously, that's part of what Thanksgiving is kind of all about. And so, with that in mind, we wanted to highlight a few things that e-commerce owners and operators should be thankful for this Cyber Five. and things that also we're thankful for too. I think the first one of those things, Jay, is there's a as we've talked about several times in the show here, there's booming online shopping trends. Like people just keep buying online. People keep using e-commerce. Consumers continue to like prefer that to prefer the convenience of that, right? To like going to somewhere, to like taking the time to actually get somewhere, and so that's driving growth across the e-commerce space, right? And so that's not stopping anytime soon, according to like the 10 or 15 different articles that we've referenced in the show over the past year. So that's definitely something to be thankful for as an e-commerce operator or advisor like we are. Um, Jay, we talk about this like all the time about how different tools that are out there just continue to get better and better and better. And digital marketing tools.
Yeah,
We talked
most
we
definitely.
talked about we talked about Meta rolling out theirs to make cool videos with one still shot. We talked about Amazon doing that for their product placement. We talked about TikTok rolling those things out. Everybody is using these AI powered weapons
Adobe
to
Commerce. We talked
yeah,
about.
everybody.
We had a
They're everywhere.
lot of different things there
There
for
you go. They're
sure.
just they're just in
Yeah,
everything. Like
yeah,
Shopify is incorporating.
yeah.
They're all over the place to make your job as an e-commerce operator easier, to be able to power your advertising, to make sure that you do have the optimization that we talked about. I mean, we talked about Bing, and they're doing some things to make their tool better too. Right? There are just so many tools out there. We mention it every week. We have a whole section devoted just to AI stuff, and then of course, like we have tech news of five items at least, it seems like, every week. And so
Yeah.
there's always something happening. And then on top of that, right, the data is getting better. So data analytics are getting better. The tools that can interpret that data are getting better, and that just helps everyone to be able to reach and to target all of the people that you want to, so that you can buy more super trellis. um,
And you talk about the data, and that's why it's really important to segment your data and make sure that you are
right.
capturing that information so that you can make better decisions and better targets
Yeah.
based on the purchasing habits of your customer.
Right. Well, and that's why those things that Meta's doing too, of like incorporating the like AI assistant that helps to like talk right through, like that's going to be so helpful to anyone in the e-commerce space, because it's just going to be able to connect you to the people you want to connect to more effectively.
For sure.
And there's just no question that that is important and something to be thankful for. Um, another is that like well, we talked about tariffs and stuff, and so maybe this is a little less true today than it was maybe a month ago. But growth in global market access, right? You can touch more places in the world now, and so you can reach people who you just weren't able to reach 10 years ago, through even if it's just through Amazon. Like they sell in all kinds of different places, and because their logistics have improved, international shipping solutions are just better. They just allow any e-commerce business to be able to reach beyond that place where you started and tap into just a global customer base. There are all kinds of people in the world who need colorful trellises, right? Like, or whatever it might be. Brown beer from like a long time ago, brownbeer.com, right? Like, there's just a lot.
Yep.
There are people everywhere that like these types of products, and being able to find a way to effectively get your product to them is just so much easier now than it used to be. And that's something to be thankful for. Um, we've talked about this. I haven't seen one of these in a while, but but I think it is something to be thankful for. And there have been loads and loads of these this year, and that's innovations in payment solutions. And so people have more ways to pay. We talked about cybersecurity, right? Now that's a lot better. Secure and seamless payment gateways, like they just
Yep.
continue to open up. They just continue to give your customers options to be able to purchase your products, which is definitely something to be thankful for. Klarna and Affirm and all those guys, like they haven't been around for very long, but they give you the opportunity to allow your customers to buy now and pay later. And those options are options that can close sales that you might not have been able to close before. And we don't.
And
I haven't. Go ahead, Jake.
I was going to say things like Shop Pay and Link and even Stripe to a point have made it so easy to check out.
Yeah.
Either, I mean, a lot of times if they're using Stripe, it recognizes you when you come in, has your email. All you got to do is click through it, get a text, and boom, you're paid. I mean,
Yep.
they've made it so simple and removing the friction from the process that I know
Yeah.
it brings me back to those shops because I want to use. I, for me, it's like 9 times out of 10, if I'm making a purchase, it's on my phone,
Yeah.
and I don't want to type in a damn credit card number every time.
Right.
I want to either use Apple Pay or I want to use Shop Pay or Link or Stripe. So
Yeah.
because it simplifies it, and by
That's right.
simplifying it, you're going to come back to that shop more.
That's right. And there's a couple different things that happen there, right? Your customer experience is better, which is supporting your desire to come
Yeah.
back to the shop. And then you as a company, right? You boost your conversions, right? Because that does just allow when we talked about this last week, right? When I mentioned my shop pay click through that I forgot to put the discount code in for Viore, right? It just is so easy to be able to finish that situation instead of leaving your item in your cart. You just are done because you don't have to go downstairs and pick up the credit card and type in all the
Mm-hmm.
numbers. Like being able to convert those transactions and to allow like these better and alternative solutions are just so powerful. And so
Completely.
I also remember Jay, that we talked a couple weeks ago about how there are some like digital wallets and those types of things that are starting to become more popular,
Yeah,
that are going to also continue to allow companies that international reach that we talked about. Because as those things become easier to use and you don't have to have like a US based credit card or something like that, like you have more flexibility in being able to get your products across the world. And those payment
for sure.
solutions are just going to continue to get better, um, and more powerful, and just have probably at some point there will be too many options and it'll be worth like paring them back down, same as like TV or whatever's going on now. But at least for now, the improvements and additions seem to be great often. So
For
that
sure.
is definitely something to be thankful for, and especially this weekend, right? Those quick payment tools that gets people through all of the websites that they want to make their purchases from this weekend.
That's right.
So you don't have to be the one that gets left out. And then finally, community support and brand loyalty are things to be thankful for. And I mean, we can talk about it because it's already happened again, right? We talked about Super Trellis last week. We brought them back up this week. I only have had the product for one day, and I'm going to like talk to people about like this plant trellis that I have probably until like I move, because it's just going to be something that's now a part of my space, and something that I'm going to really enjoy, and that I will find joy in. We talked also about the Facebook page that they have for people that also have the same thing, right? Those growing online communities that share those same things and share that joy together. Those types of things are the things that e-commerce owners can really be thankful for. Like these customers support these small businesses, the niche brands, right? And they can contribute to the growth and resilience of those markets, right? So that's definitely something to be thankful for as well. Jay, are there other things that didn't make our list here that as you've been thinking about it, are things e-commerce business owners should be thankful for as we head into Cyber 5?
I know we kind of danced around it, but I mean, AI across the board,
Yeah,
has made so many
yeah,
enhancements into everything, whether it's, being able to segment customers and or give shopping recommendations or
yeah,
write the descriptions for the website for the products on the website, or
yeah.
it's just so many things that AI is touching these days in e-commerce. And it's not
Yeah,
even talking about the analysis that we could do on the on the
Pricing.
traffic trends and all the other things that we could do with it. So yeah,
Right.
I mean that to me, it's the biggest thing to be thankful for this year.
Yeah, and so I
But
do
it,
think
but
that
it's
that
it's
is.
plateauing at this point, so it's okay.
Come on, come on, see, come on, accounting today. That headline, clickbait headline.
Well, it
Oh
was
my
the
gosh,
accounting industry after all, so
that's
you
true.
know.
That's
So
true. I said I think I called out accounting today. There, that it wasn't them. I'm sorry, accounting today. It wasn't you.
oh,
It was
okay.
somebody else. It was somebody else, but I don't remember who it was now. So
It was
there you
accounting
go. You don't even get the
yesterday.
negative accounting. It was accounting yesterday with their click through. I think it was CBA trend lines actually is who it was. So
Yeah,
um,
probably. Yeah,
yeah, come on with your clickbaity headline. But yeah, no, I think that is a thing to remember, right? Is that as the business environment is what it is, right? Being an e-commerce business in this period of inflation has challenges to it. And anything, any advancement, any ability to be able to get your time back, be
for
that
sure.
website script and product, summaries, all of that kind of stuff. Anything that allows you to do that is definitely something to be thankful for. And so we didn't put it on the list, but we should definitely include it here, Jay. Like, you should be thankful for, like, good quality advisors,
There you
because those
go.
are those people. They're not AI, but they're doing that same thing, where they're giving you your time back. And allowing you to focus on the things that you really enjoy, be that running your business or spending time with your family or whatever it might be.
For
Um,
sure.
and so that makes this time of year a really good time to be reflective. And so Jay, I'm changing up the end of the show, because tomorrow's Thanksgiving. So instead of asking what happens next week or what's on the horizon, I want to know what's going on tomorrow. Um, what are you most excited for? What
Well,
dish is going to set it all
I
off?
so the dish. My wife actually asked me what I wanted this year,
Mm,
and, and Thanksgiving is one of those holidays where it has changed my perception of things because
mm,
getting married and having to do the two family thing, and
sure.
it was a big drain, and my parents laid the guilt on. I was never once that happened. I was not a fan of Thanksgiving, and I dreaded it. But
Mm.
we had transitions at my family that didn't carry over, and my wife's like, "Would you like me to do that?" I'm like, "No, this is new. Make me some cornbread dressing. Make me some cornbread stuffing, and I will
Yep.
be happy." And my wife found this pumpkin pie recipe 2 weeks ago and made a pumpkin pie. It was out of this world. She's now modified that a little bit, and she actually made three today. And Abby is making another dessert, actually two more desserts, because you can't have enough dessert on
I was
Thanksgiving,
about to say,
right?
are you having Thanksgiving or are you having just dessert? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, it's carb fest. I mean, come on, let's face it. So,
Sure.
and for me, it is always an annual tradition. Starting on Thanksgiving Day, I watch the three trilogies of Star Wars
Mm.
in not in chronological order, but in play order. So starting with A New Hope
Oh, so in release order.
in release order. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you do that all in one day? Is that your tomorrow? Your Black
No,
Friday
no.
is no.
It starts on Thanksgiving
All right.
Day, and
Yeah.
it could take all the way through the Christmas holiday.
Oh, well, okay, yeah. But it's just take the time to revisit those. Oh, that's a lovely tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't answer my question, Jay. My question was, what is your favorite dish? Is this the cornbread
Well,
stuffing
it's
or
the
the
cornbread
pumpkin
stuffing.
pie?
Yeah,
The cornbread
yeah,
stuffing.
it's
All right,
cornbread
there
stuffing.
you go.
Yeah.
What makes your cornbread stuffing like so memorable? Let me ask
Probably
that
my
question
love for
another way.
cornbread.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
My ask it in another way was, can you send me the recipe, Jay?
sure.
Yeah.
I can do
No,
that.
I've never really been much of a stuffing guy personally, but my sister-in-law, so my brother's wife, she made a stuffing a couple years ago that had some sausage in it, and I was like, what is happening? I remember stuffing as like this kind of wet thing that was, a little bit sticky and a little
Yeah.
bit like, not was not ever well my favorite dish at home. Um, but you get it dried up a little bit, get a little extra cornbread in there, and then now we're really starting to talk more breaded up, make that stuffing more bread like than
A
like
little more breaded up,
uh,
and my wife makes them in muffin tins,
oh, so like teensies, like little guys.
like little muffins. Yeah,
Wow, yeah. All
because to
right.
me, the crispy crunchies is what I love about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And so that's what I really enjoyed about my sister-in-law stuffing as well, was that it was crispy and crunchy. It's the same thing. Like one of our family traditions was always the green bean casserole with fried onions on top.
Yeah.
Always didn't really care about the green beans and all the cream and mushroom or all that, but crispy fried onions, top notch. Um,
Yeah,
this
we just get the container of the fried onions and put that in the salad or whatever we want. We skip the green beans
oh
and
yeah, there you go.
the soup mix or whatever's on top of it. So
Okay, just add it to the like whipped cream
yeah,
thing
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
just an extra like crunch. Nice, nice. The this year we're not going. I know you're hosting people, Jay. I know you mentioned you've got
Actually,
folks coming
I
over,
can
maybe
hear
already
them. They're
there.
already out
I
there.
know. Yeah, there you go. You already got the folks over. And so we're not doing that this year. We're just staying here. And so we're creating our own Thanksgiving. And so I'm a little bit. I'm excited for it to some degree, and also terrified because I found some recipes online for a few different dishes, and I have no idea what to expect. So we'll report back next week on how Thanksgiving dinner goes.
So, what are your responsibilities in the Thanksgiving dinner? What are you
Uh,
cooking?
so so for this Thanksgiving, I'm cooking I think everything. Because my wife is still trying to wrap up some stuff that she's working on, and
Ah,
so because of that, I got Thanksgiving making duties. So I found the recipes, bought the groceries, and am going to be preparing as well. We've got a twist on green beans, so we're not going to have green bean casserole. I'm making a Chinese green bean, which I'm pretty excited for. So it's got some umami flavors in there, a little bit of that savory flavor. So that should be pretty good. I'm excited to see how that turns out because it was an interesting looking recipe, and I was like, oh, well, I'll try it. We're gonna make some roasted broccoli with some Parmesan on top. Pretty stoked for that. I'm gonna make my first ever. I'm gonna make my first ever potatoes au gratin. Probably should do that today, um, just because I can see that taking maybe forever. Getting that
yeah.
mandolin out and mandolining off that
Oh,
potato.
yeah.
I gotta find the right thickness for the mandolin, but I'll be doing that, and then the coup de grace I think is the what is that the what's that mean in French? What's the coup de grace?
The piece de resistance.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the thing that we're all looking forward to. So um, I'm gonna regret it later probably, but but I'm gonna try to make what I'm gonna refer to as a Timpa Wellington. And so, Jay, if you're not familiar, tempeh is a alternative to meat. It's a protein thing
Okay.
from soybeans. So like tofu, but not. And we're gonna make a little mushroom mix. Cook up caramelize some onions. Throw all that into puff pastry with the seasoned tempeh. Fire that in the oven. Cross our fingers that it's delicious because my wife's a vegetarian, so no turkey for us.
Hmm.
And so this is going to be our protein dish, is
Yeah.
the Timpa Wellington. So put some good vibes out there in the world for my Wellington because this will be my first try at it, and
Will do.
it could definitely be a disaster. They're supposed
Yeah.
to take a long time, so
So I'm
we're gonna
glad I
make.
didn't ask how you were preparing your turkey.
That's right. I was gonna say invisibly,
Yeah.
um, or something like that. My family typically gets together a couple weeks later because my the same sister in law that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
She's one of like nine, and so they're typically always together because there's just so many of them. Um, and so my family typically gets together a little bit off, which has made that transition that you're talking about, that marriage transition, a little bit easier because my brother was married first, And so
Yeah.
my family has typically always been the one that was a little flexible there. And so we normally spend time with my wife's family around Thanksgiving, and then mine a little later. I'm sure we'll figure something out for my wife's family this year, but no plans as yet.
Yeah.
Um, again, I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. I think it's a really fun holiday to like share time with the people that you care about the most,
Yeah.
your family. So definitely looking forward to that. Um, Jay, as we start to close the show here, one thing that I thought would be relevant is any personal thank yous that you have, anything you're thankful for this year, Jay, that you want the people out there to know of.
Well, I am thankful that you are my co-host. I'm your co-host here. This has been a you know 11 months in the making. Yeah,
Let's go.
and this has been good. I want to thank a lot of the partners that we work with: Zero, 8X, the 8X marketing team and management,
Yep.
8X support team, 7, their support team, uh, Shopify,
Yeah, our friends over at Ramp.
and yeah, want to thank everybody at Higher Up for helping support us through what we're
Right.
doing and helping
Yeah.
make us successful in what we're doing. And my family, my wife and my daughter,
Yep.
being my support system. So
Right. Well, that makes
yeah,
me disappointed. I'm not disappointed in like an actually disappointed way, but I'm disappointed in that my thinking was going to be to you for finally getting us started up and getting us together to talk at the beginning of this year. We've been talking about it for
yes,
years,
for
truly
sure.
plural, and so I am so thankful for the opportunity to get together to talk about e-commerce related stuff, to talk about accounting stuff with someone who's passionate about it, right? Someone that truly cares about it,
Most definitely.
and can have a good conversation. So I am thankful for the ability to be able to stand here and talk about these types of things. I also, I mean, I'm not gonna. We don't need to rename everybody, but they're back there, right? We got some people on the wall, like app
Yeah,
inventory or whatever. They got the A2X block over wherever that is. Um, so obviously, I'm thankful for all of the different connections that I've been able to make over the next year because of the team at A2X um, and through them, I've just met loads of people throughout the industry that have been big helps from a lot of different perspectives. So I'm super thankful for that. And then Jay,
for sure.
um, I obviously am thankful for my family as well. My wife and our little one, make life special, right? It's always for your family that you're doing all of the hard work, right? You want to be able um, to say that you're working really hard to achieve all the things that you want to, so that you can spend more time with those people, right? That's I mean that when I say that. That is exactly why I do what I do, is so that I can spend more time with my daughter and my wife. Um, and so I'm thankful that I have that chance. And so I know that means that there are loads of things that we're all thankful for, right? Um, that that we want to be able to reflect on. And we talked about this maybe in February or back then, right? It can be really easy in both this industry and in the e-commerce space to overload yourself and to get overwhelmed and to get into a position of burnout. And so there is nothing like a Thanksgiving weekend to take a breath, say thank you for all of the things that you have in your life, and to appreciate that for some time going forward. So everyone out there, do that, right? Enjoy the weekend. Don't look at the sales numbers too closely, although I'm sure you probably will, regardless of what I said. But 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 may your inventory sell out. May you have more turkey than you know what to do with, so you can enjoy the second day sandwiches. And may the 49ers actually win a football game. Um,
There you
we'll
go.
we'll see how it goes. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. thank you again for watching the show. I guess that's our final thank you, right? Thank you
That's
to
it.
the people out there who are watching the show, to the people who actually have an interest in learning about e-commerce and the technology that supports that. Without you guys, it wouldn't even be worth having these conversations. So thank you all for supporting us. Thank you all for everything that you do, and for all the cool products that you're bringing to the market. Right. So thank you all. We will be back, probably not this next week, but maybe the week following. I think. Right, Jay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll be
You're
back
right.
in 2 weeks to talk to you about some e-commerce and more, to debrief a little bit about how the Cyber 5 went, and probably just in time to talk about Hanukkah and Christmas traditions or something like that.
There you
So
go.
so thanks everybody for spending some time with us on the On the Rocks e-commerce hour. We will see you in a couple weeks.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Have a great
Thank you
Thanksgiving.
for watching.
Bye.